Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you on a Monday afternoon. Landon Schmidt producing. We're Sports Time. We're with you for the next 3 hours, and a lot to get to after a really busy weekend around the world of sports. We've got college basketball action to talk about, NBA action, talk about the Grizzlies. They were in action last night. Another loss to the Washington Wizards. We've got a bowl game on right now. A lot of college football to discuss. Obviously, the NFL as well as Week 17 almost completely behind us. One more game tonight with Monday Night Football. So a lot to get into over these next 3 hours. But Brett is in New Orleans for the Sugar Bowl later this week. Ole Miss and Georgia. So a lot of excitement, I'm sure, down there. Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Brian, I'm doing well. Went up to the team room that's on the 41st floor of the hotel.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it's way up there. I mean, way up there, which is only about 2 floors lower than what the press box is from the field at the Superdome. So may have as good a view from the team hotel as I do at the Dome, but I'm high above Canal and high above New Orleans and getting ready for Thursday, but still a lot to do before Thursday. And Bryant, starting tomorrow, there's a lot of college basketball conference games, and on Wednesday, the Tigers in conference game number 1.
Yeah, it's been a weird week. Everybody taking off between Wednesday and really Saturday. There was one Division I versus Division I game on Saturday. Yesterday, we had a lot of games get back, and now really starting today and going into this week, you've got a lot of day games, a lot of afternoon games, and a lot of these conferences starting conference play. Like you mentioned, the Tigers with a very long break, about a 9-day break, and they'll kick off conference play against North Texas, an afternoon game on Wednesday. So, yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of excitement coming up with college basketball. And you talk about this week, a lot of bowl games coming up. I mean, you look at only one bowl game today with the game going on right now, but 3 tomorrow, a bunch on Wednesday, a handful on Thursday with the playoff games. Friday, you've got a bunch of games. So it's going to be a fun week if you like college sports.
Yeah, and take that Sugar Bowl with the first conference game. Yeah. We got it in the J-Lab Birmingham Bowl conference, first conference. Really an old rival, first time for them to ever meet in a bowl game.
Yeah, the Birmingham Bowl, the last bowl to get set. They needed to go out there and find a team to play. App State saying we'll play, and App State right now throwing out a third-string quarterback, and the backup quarterback today, a guy that is listed as a defensive back on their roster, was a high school quarterback, I believe. Combined 3 interceptions between those two guys. Georgia Southern in complete control of the Birmingham Bowl.
Yeah, the market's speaking on a lot of bowls. Now, will the market speak loud enough for Bristol vis-a-vis ESPN to hear it? Brian, I love it. You can get some really full-throated, almost angry about the bowl picture from ESPN personalities of too many bowls and who cares and this one doesn't matter and nobody's going to that game and nobody's playing in that game. The coaches aren't even playing that game. All you got to do is walk down the hall. I bet you don't want to do that, though. I bet you don't want to go down the hall and tell Jimmy Pitaro or some of the real muckety-mucks high ups at ESPN, hey, nobody cares about such and such bowl, because they care about it and it's still drawing. And I want to make this point. It really, last week was an odd week for everybody on, off, and, the day after. The rating for Ole Miss and Tulane, 6 million people, as compared to the Friday night OU Alabama game and Saturday morning on ESPN, ABC, Miami and Texas A&M, it was bad, and then even less for Oregon and James Madison. Yeah. So 6 million for Ole Miss, and that got roundly criticized and it got criticized for a lot of things, but it also got criticized for, rightly, why are we having this many teams? Why are some of these teams in it? Now, I will still defend Tulane and James Madison by this year's construct, by this year's agreement. They fair and square got in there.
Absolutely.
I don't think going forward that they will be as easily accommodated, but because of fear of lawsuit, they still could remain no matter how big it gets at 16 or 20 or 24. And you see how scared the NCAA that they are from lawsuits on some of these player eligibility issues, including the basketball player now at Baylor. But 6 million people, that got crushed. That 6 million got crushed. And the NFL had big numbers that day. Here's what 6 million, what it is. 6 million is 1 million more than what the NBA averaged all day Christmas Day on networks, on every platform they have, as promoted as any day that the NBA that they have in the regular season. That college football game on TNT in the middle of the afternoon on the busiest shopping day of the year. Yeah. That Saturday before Christmas, more people out at the mall or wherever than any other day of the year. That 6 million also beat what the Western Conference Finals averaged last year. And it was just a 5-game series, 4-1 Oklahoma City over Minnesota. But we know how promoted that is, and we know the networks that's on, and that's not on any busy shopping day. And Ole Miss and Tulane still beat that. Yeah. You don't hear all the people that look for that new, fresh pinata at college football ever say, and a lot of those types are non-football types, non-pro or college football types. And it still smokes the best the NBA offers.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I mean, when you talk about too many bowl games or whatever the argument might be. I mean, I know the playoffs are a little different when you throw those numbers out there. I don't know what the Birmingham Bowl is drawing right now, but I can say probably pretty confidently that right now the Birmingham Bowl is drawing better than whatever network television show they would have put on ESPN at this time on a Monday afternoon. I had people texting me that are have no interest in App State or Georgia Southern, but they're texting me play-by-play updates because it's just a bowl game and they're watching it on a Monday afternoon in the middle of the day. So as long as people are tuning in for them, I'm sure ESPN doesn't want to get rid of any of these bowl games.
That's a good point. I'm going to guess. I don't know what the Birmingham Bowl historically averages, but I'm going to guess, and I'll find it out for sure. I'm going to guess today it will average, I'm going to say 1.8 to 2.2 million people. Yeah. And now that sounds like that doesn't touch the NFL third day of the draft. Right. Nothing can touch the NFL. Quit comparing even college football, clearly America's number 2 sport, but in a galaxy far, far away from the king of all time, the NFL. And I'm giving the NFL credit. And I like it. But the people that want to pick at college football and trying to find something wrong with it on that 1.8 to 2.2, that still beats most weeknight games through the years, like on TNT. That might be bigger this year because of on NBC. Sure. And we got NBC doubleheader tonight and tomorrow night, don't we?
Yeah, we got 2 days. And the Grizzlies part of it tomorrow night, though, against 76ers.
That's right. Now, on NBC, that will beat it. But the old TNT games, when we used to have the Ernie and the crew on those games, that's about what it would average regular season, and you never hear them go that far in their comparison.
No, definitely not. And so, yeah, I mean, we love football, and we love it whenever it's on, and certainly when it's on in the middle of the day, if you're at work, if you're at home. I mean, it's just nice to turn on. And so, that's the biggest thing about a lot of these bowl games is it's just, viewers are going to watch it. People are going to watch it. And so,
because it's
why
there.
Worry about it? Exactly. I mean, because it's there, people are going to watch it. And when ESPN and some of these other networks look at it, I mean, it's going to be hard to say, let's scrap all these bowl games when, people are, you don't even have to try for people to watch these games.
How compelling? Not very much. And look, if it's not compelling for me, then you have an issue, because I'm pretty hardcore. Sure. I put my college football hat on about June 25th. And about 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, I go to SEC Media Days, and the hat stays firmly on, and I love it. But it's been difficult for me to watch. And when we get to top and not my not top story, will largely touch on this point.
Yeah, and so, one game today, we got a lot more tomorrow, and really kind of tomorrow and into Wednesday, we'll get a lot more SEC teams playing in these bowl games. So I know a lot of people will be interested, much more interested in that than a 5-7 App State team against Georgia Southern. But it's fun to watch the Birmingham Bowl. Don't want to say good memories from the Birmingham Bowl, but memories of the Birmingham Bowl nonetheless.
And I had a great time in 2012. Ole Miss, we were starved to death for a bowl game after being out of a bowl game in the seasons of 10 and 11. Hugh Freeze's first year, go and beat Pitt, and knew we had a good young team, and we're getting ready to build something, and it built and built and built until it didn't build anymore, until it blew up. But I had a blast there. But Brian, I remember the first time when the NCAA just kept certifying these bowls, and we did not need them, and it just became official programming for ESPN. I really truly thought, Bryant, that if we didn't have enough bowl eligible teams, that market forces would speak, and there would be no bowl. Yeah. And late in the year, I'm telling a friend of mine who was a lot more savvy and a lot more experienced around college sports and the TV business. He's deceased now, but he knew it well, and he said, You don't think they're not going to have a game, do you? I said, well, I think it was like the California Raisin Bowl.
Sure.
And I said, well, if they don't have teams, if teams aren't eligible, he said, they're going to have a bowl. Yep. They'll accommodate somebody. He goes, you don't think they're just not going to have a game, do you?
Yeah, they're going to find somebody, and that's exactly what happened.
I really thought they wouldn't.
Well, maybe a better idea to just not have the game instead of going and just trying to scrape a team that is already done with the season into a bowl game. But that's what we're seeing right now with the Birmingham Bowl, and it's reflective with the gameplay. Georgia Southern up 26-7. We mentioned the Grizzlies in action tomorrow night on NBC. They were in action last night. We'll talk about them a lot in our 5 o'clock hour. Michael Cole from the Commercial Appeal going to join us. But another loss, a sweep to the Washington Wizards last night, 116-112 on the road. Just another game where the Wizards got the best of them, which you can't say that much this year for Wizards games, but it happened again last night.
Brian, how many times have we talked about that's the worst loss of the year?
Mm-hmm.
We've had what? At least, to be fair, 4 or 5 of those?
Sure, yeah, I would say so.
That's a lot of worst losses of the year.
That's right, yeah. No, you really only want a couple. Once you get past like 3, I would say, I think you're in trouble, and I think the Grizzlies are well past 3, really, really bad in the conversation of worst loss of the year.
I would love to know the exact building blocks for the famous Eli Savoy Grizzasters.
Yeah.
But that has to be approaching it yesterday, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be. I think one of those building blocks. I mean, give the Wizards credit. They played really hard. They played hard all year. They just the wins haven't necessarily been there all season. But yeah, I mean, it's not great. Maybe 1 loss to the Wizards, I think, whatever. But 2 losses, not great at all.
A loss yesterday to the Wizards, that there are more people out still looking at the national Christmas tree by the ellipse than were at the game yesterday.
Which is a shame. I mean, this Wizards team, so much fun to watch. I love watching this Wizards team play. I wish more people in Washington felt the same, because they are a fun young team, which I feel bad saying after they beat the Grizzlies for the second time this season. But give them credit,
you walked right into that one. We're counting down the last hours of 2025, so I don't know if it's the last one, but there can't be many left. How hard one? You ready?
Okay, yeah.
Landon, I want you to jump in on this as well. Better roster, the Wizards or the Grizzlies?
Like right now?
Right now.
The Grizzlies. Right now, the Grizzlies have a better roster. In a year or 2, maybe Washington. I think that Washington team, they're super young, and so they're still super raw. But man, that's a fun roster right there. I love that team.
Landon, better roster, Grizzlies or Wiz?
Right, both buttons. I'm gonna say right now the Grizzlies. I'm gonna be a little bit of a homer right now, but I think I don't know. This Wizards team is fun. CJ McCollum knows how to shoot, but I don't know. I just feel like we have, I would say, more superstars on our team, quote unquote superstars, and so
Superstars?
that's why I say quote unquote.
Quote unquote superstars?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay by it.
I think the Grizzlies have a better roster, but the Wizards team's fun.
I think they do too. I don't think the Grizzlies have a single superstar, but I do think they have some stars, but not a superstar.
Yeah,
that's a little nitpicky, Landon. I'm playing mostly. I agree with both of y'all. Right now, it could change quickly. I'm going to ask that question again around the 1st of April as we approach game 75 and 76, and we'll see about that.
Yeah,
but I think y'all are right, and I agree with you that right now it is better, but it could be breathtaking by the end of this year. How differently we would look at that.
It certainly could. And, I mean, this Wizards team, they're super young. So, I mean, give them a couple years, depending on what they end up doing with a lot of these guys. But last night, out of the 10 guys that played for the Wizards, 6 of them were in their 4th year or fewer in the NBA. So, I mean, they're relying on a ton of young guys out there. They're playing hard. They're improving. I really like this Wizards team. Now, you look at it, 7 wins. I'm sure a lot of people are like, what is there to like about this Wizards team? But they're enjoyable to watch. So, yeah, they got the win last night. Good for them. And we'll see what the Grizzlies can do tomorrow night against a 76ers team currently 2 games over 500. But we got a busy show today. Let me set it up before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, Pat Smith from Jocks down in Birmingham. He's going to join us early this week as we've got a ton to get to in the world of college football. We got to preview a lot of these games that we'll see later this week in the playoffs. Talk a lot of news out there in the world of college football. We know Kalen DeBoer is going to be staying at Alabama because, for multiple reasons, but the biggest reason, Michigan announced their newest head coach on Friday, so we'll get his thoughts on that. A lot of things when it comes to the world of college football. 3:45, we'll talk some NFL as Week 17 comes to a wrap later tonight with Monday Night Football, but a lot of interesting things going on over the weekend, setting up what should be a really fun Week 18. 4 o'clock, David Cobb from CBS Sports will join us. A lot of college football and college basketball talk with David Cobb. Get his thoughts on bowl season, the playoffs, and college football. Also get his thoughts on college basketball, including James Najee, who Brett mentioned a couple minutes ago, signing with Baylor after being drafted in the 2nd round of the NBA draft. We'll get his thoughts on that and a lot more.
If it doesn't work for all those young Wizards, they can just go back and play for a college team, can't they?
I think a little different because all those guys have suited up in the NBA. But hey, at this point, I don't really know what the rules are going to be and if they can get around it.
Wouldn't you like Darrell Henderson back running the ball for the Tigers?
I'd love it. I mean, hey, we could go down a list of guys I would love back in Memphis uniforms. I
take Jerry and Ely back at. I take Snoop Connor back at Ole Miss.
Absolutely.
Now I think they both participate in NFL games, but
hey, why not? Yeah, I mean, at least you go out there and check. And try to go out there and go against the NCAA. It feels like you got a pretty good chance if you do that. So a lot to get into with David Cobb. 4:30, our Sissy's Law Cabin look back at the weekend in the SEC. A few games to look back on from the SEC. We'll also talk about some of the bowl games, playoff games coming up around the SEC as well. 4:45, big number of the day. 5 o'clock, DeMichael Cole, the Grizzlies beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal. He'll join us. We'll talk a lot of Grizzlies with him. 5:30, our Monday Night Football pick and preview. We'll also get to our big 4 for both the Rams and the Falcons. So 2 lists. I'm best all time, right? Is that what we're doing at 5:30? Best all time for these 2 teams. So
yeah, for both of them.
Cool. Should be fun. That's what I went with. I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same
8
page.
names.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It should be 2 interesting lists. And then at 5:45, we will wrap up today's show like we always do with Mo's
bowl picks as well.
Yeah, we got to get to some bowl picks with some early games tomorrow. So we'll be a busy 5:30 segment. But let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. The Hot Tub and Swim Spa clearance sale. It's going on right now at Family Leisure. Hot tubs starting at $24.99, swim spas at $14,999, and in-stock patio furniture now up to 50% off. Hot tub covers, they're starting at $249, with spa steps and cover lifts starting at just $99. Special financing, it's available, and if you mention this ad, receive a free gift with that hot tub purchase. So head out there to Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40.
He's Brian, I'm Brett. Our producer's Landon Schmidt, and we're Sportstime, and we're with you until 6 o'clock. We're live and we're local, and we want you to be a part of our show by texting or calling 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. All our guests will appear on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. Wherever we are, we're always from our Family Leisure Studios, even high above Canal in New Orleans. We're always from our Family Leisure Studios. In this hour every day brought to you by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2026 models and always special leasing options. Driving luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway, and that's where you can put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2026 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. You can call them at 901-334-9673, but they invite you to stop by the only Lexus dealership in Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, we're only a couple days away from getting more college football playoff action, as that will take place on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, the quarterfinals, and they should be really, really exciting. It starts on New Year's Eve with Miami and Ohio State. Ohio State nearly a double-digit favorite down at AT&T Stadium for the Cotton Bowl. Then on Thursday, we get the triple header, Oregon, Texas Tech. Oregon still a 2.5-point favorite in the Orange Bowl, Alabama and Indiana in the Rose Bowl, and then Ole Miss and Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. And if the Ole Miss-Georgia game is anything like what we saw in the regular season, it will be a thriller to end New Year's Day. But all of these games, very intriguing, a lot of fun. You mentioned the Ole Miss-Georgia game, how fun that was in the regular season. If we can get anything close to that, will be a lot of fun. Alabama in the Rose Bowl against Indiana, this great season that Indiana has had. But again, you're playing Alabama and still that idea of Alabama. How does that play out? Oregon and Texas Tech, with Oregon being the favorite against a Texas Tech team that has been phenomenal all year. And what does Ohio State look like after that loss in the Big Ten championship game against a Miami team that made it look ugly against Texas A&M on the road, but got the win and advanced to the Cotton Bowl? So 4 really, really intriguing games, hopefully 4 really fun games.
Think about those 2 games on New Year's Day for the 2 SEC teams. For Alabama against Indiana, it is clearly Indiana's biggest game in their college football history.
No doubt about it.
The winningest coach in Indiana history has an under 500 record. It is the biggest game ever. Is it top 50 game ever at Bama?
I probably not. I mean, it'd be maybe around there, but I don't know if it cracks the top 50.
I mean, would it crack top 50? I'm not going to do the research. No. Same thing that night. Biggest game in Ole Miss football history.
Absolutely.
It's not even the biggest game in Kirby's years.
No, it's not. A quarterfinal game? Absolutely not.
I mean, it's just not. And that's the prism of people looking at things differently. Yeah, it's end-all, be-all for Indiana and Ole Miss. You feel like Alabama and Georgia this time next year probably will both be somewhere in this tournament mix. My top story, last week of 2025, and for both teams with Memphis across the tank tops in basketball, Tigers and Grizzlies, there's a lot of concern for both. Who are they heading into 2026? We don't know much about either one of them, really, up to this point. What do they do well? I don't think there's going to be a run for either come NCAA tournament or NBA playoff time. Both feel stuck, I think, in a really bad position. Not any hope of moving way up, and the real sense of dread of maybe it really bottoming out and some real changes having to occur. The contrasting coaching for the two. One, a new coach that it's been clumsy, klutzy, not real good so far, but he's a new coach. A very veteran coach that it's been clumsy and klutzy, not so far, that there's not anybody calling for his job, and I don't think anybody should, based on things so far. But 2026, January, February, March, April, it's going to tell a lot about both.
Yeah, no, it is a big next couple of months for both the Memphis basketball teams.
Not top story of the day.
My not top story of the day, it is the Memphis Grizzlies and that loss last night against the Washington Wizards. A back-and-forth game where at times I think you could probably make an argument, all right, Memphis is going to win this game. All right, Washington's going to win this game. Both teams going on runs throughout, and ultimately it was the Washington Wizards that got the win. You look at some of the guys that made an impact. Alex Sarr was awesome for the Wizards last night. I think especially with Zach Edey out, what he can do offensively, I think matched up really well against the Grizzlies. And then for the Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson, a nice game, 31 points, 8 rebounds, 4 blocks for him. But outside of that, a lot of other guys struggled. Ja Morant, 21 points, 7 assists, but at times just looked out of it. Had some good moments, had some bad moments. You look at the bench, didn't give much at all. So, I mean, just a head-scratching loss, and now you look up, getting swept by the Washington Wizards. As much as I might say I like watching the Wizards, that shouldn't happen against this year's version of this Washington team. And so now you turn around a nationally televised game tomorrow night against the 76ers. How do they look? This is a 76ers team that it's been a weird year. They've had some injuries, but right now 2 games over 500. What does it look like on national television? Hate to get blown out on national TV, so you need a much better showing than what we saw last night.
I went through the Grizzlies box score, and I don't know how they lost.
Yeah, I mean, it was a weird game. I mean, all throughout the night, it felt like, okay, the Grizzlies are going to win this. Even when they were down, it was like, the Grizzlies are going to win this game. But you look at that three-point shooting, really struggled. And what the Wizards did at the free throw line, 24 for 25 at the free throw line.
That was it.
That really helps out, especially in late-game situations. So a very strange game last night.
It's why they call them free throws.
Right.
It's free.
That's right. You got to make them.
My not top story, the Bowls, they kind of drone on as we await college football playoff quarterfinals. There have been some good games, but how many good teams have we seen? We've seen entertaining games, and I guess that's what you want. I know the Bowl people, that's what they want to put on. They can't control that, but that's what they want to have. I think Washington and the Gronk Bowl was a good team. Now, the L.A. Bowl is gone after this year, isn't it?
I believe so, yes.
I think so. So that's one less. That's kind of progress, isn't it? Washington, I think, was a good team. Georgia Tech and BYU, good game, 2 good teams. You can count on a great game for BYU. In their bowl history, without looking, I promise I hadn't looked, I would bet you 15 to 20 one-score crazy games in BYU's bowl history. The rest of them, not that many good teams. Maybe it'll pick up this week. Quarterfinals should be good this week in college football. But if those are blowouts, this has been a kind of a passé bowl season so far.
Yeah, no, it has been. But you mentioned that Georgia Tech BYU game, the Pop-Tart Bowl. I think I could watch just all of the things around the Pop-Tart Bowl and never watch the actual game, because the Pop-Tart mascots, all the things that they do on the sidelines and stuff like that after the game, I mean, that's entertaining.
It's
on
crazy.
Its own. I mean, it is
great
it's
commercials too.
Great commercials. They were I don't know if y'all knew this. They were live on Instagram throughout the entire game, and the
I did not know that.
Pop-Tarts were just like doing, like when I tuned in, like one of the Pop-Tarts was like grilling Pop-Tarts, then they were playing cornhole. I mean, they were just having fun. I mean,
it was so influential. My little brother actually went out and got us Pop-Tarts during the game.
It works.
It worked. It worked on us.
The biggest commercial is having a bowl game with Pop-Tarts running around. I mean, it makes you start.
I couldn't get my mind off of them.
Exactly.
Just confirmed my fandom of Pop-Tarts.
I mean, how could you not like Pop-Tarts? So they are phenomenal. It's a phenomenal bowl game. You can get rid of as many bowl games as you want. Do not touch the Pop-Tart Bowl. That one.
Get rid of the Rose Bowl,
sure,
but keep the Pop-Tart.
Keep the Pop-Tart Bowl.
I'll sign that petition.
That's all I'm asking for. But that'll do for top and not top story of the day. Let's get to our first break. And when we return, we're talking college football. Pat Smith from Jocks. He joins us next.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at codesdispensary.com. That's codesdispensary.com.
If you, yes you, had designed the perfect place to have a cold drink, enjoy some conversation, and maybe catch a game, you probably would have designed something like Bell Tavern, Memphis's perfect downtown neighborhood bar. You would have thought of a place where everyone is a grown-up, a place like Bell Tavern where you can do the thing you most want to do in a bar, relax, have an ice cold beer or a signature cocktail, and maybe make some new friends while enjoying the game. It's that simple. If you designed your kind of bar, you would have designed Bell Tavern.
The 2025 Range Rover Sport sits right at the heart of the Land Rover lineup, offering a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility. Smaller and more agile than a full-size Range Rover, it's a great option for everyone who wants luxury and practicality. Every model comes with 8-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive standard. Whether you navigate city streets or tackle rough terrain, Range Rover Sport has you covered. Every drive is powerful and breathtaking. The 2025 Range Rover Sport is the epitome of sporting luxury. Test drive one at Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. More volume in the last few minutes over here on 240 East and West up by Poplar, Walnut Grove. Right now it's moving through the Midtown area, but it's trying to build south of Memphis on the interstate's been on and off with some radar on 55 south of Memphis down into South Haven. Hey, download the Zips Car Wash app right now and get a free car wash. Just check out the details at zipscarwash.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. And we got to talk some college football. Joining us now to do that, Pat Smith from Jocks down in Birmingham. Pat, thanks so much for joining us. A lot to talk about. A bowl game going on in your city right now between App State and Georgia Southern. I know we all got eyes on that one, but plenty to get into, especially with these quarterfinal games. But before we get to that, last week when we talked to you, it was a lot of conversation about Alabama the last couple of weeks. Alabama, Coach Kalen DeBoer, what his future looked like. Now Michigan has made a decision at the head coach position. Kyle Whittingham going to be the next head coach for Michigan. Your thoughts on Michigan going with Whittingham?
First off, always a pleasure to be on with y'all. And I had y'all a suite at Protective Stadium. Too bad Brett had to go to NOLA, right? He had to go to the Sugar Bowl. I could have got you guys prime seats here in Birmingham. It's a Chamber of Commerce day, 30 degrees and a beautiful sun.
And I love the Birmingham Bowl. I just talked about what a good time I had there in 2012.
Oh man, it's well, that's Old Legion Field. That's screaming of memories there. But man, it's listen, back to DeBoer. As I told you guys about a week ago, I didn't think there was much to it, but those folks up in the wonderful state of Michigan, they kept holding on to a pipe dream. And I'll be honest with you, I've known someone that has been on Kyle Whittingham's staff for 20 years. And it's a guy that I went to college with. And he has told me over time and time again just what an incredible individual Kyle Whittingham is as a person. And then seeing what he's been able to do with less at Utah, it's pretty amazing. You know, I saw a stat the other day. He's had 62 NFL draft picks since he's been the head coach at Utah. And 41 of those 62 players, those were 4-star recruits. Like, they've never had a 5-star recruit that he has recruited to Salt Lake City. So think about what he has now at his disposal there in Ann Arbor with an NIL and at the University of Michigan and playing in the Big Ten. Goes to say that a 66-year-old former linebacker at BYU is going to have the time of his life over the next few years. And I can promise you, based on what I know of Kyle Whittingham, you're not going to have the embarrassing situation that took place with Sharon Moore. Long answer to your question. I think it's a home run hire. I think Michigan absolutely fell into a great situation with Kyle Whittingham.
Yeah, but now the question even begs, what are we going to do with Ward Manuel? Because he's still the common denominator in all their dysfunction. So in the end, Michigan got it right with football coaching. Pat, everybody far and wide says dealing with him that he is the best. And I even heard some over the weekend critical of him that he's kind of they were saying that the media likes him because he kind of schmoozes and kibitzes with them and placates to him. Here's what he does. He's a decent fella to everybody. I've heard stories of him calling opposing radio networks like Utah playing Oklahoma State. He reached out to, and I don't know if that was the case, but I'll think of the exact team. But he reached out to those guys and called the play-by-play guy. It'd be the equivalent of somebody calling Chris Stewart at Alabama and say, "Hey, what do you need to know about my team so you can be better prepared for your broadcast?" I hate it when somebody that is a naturally decent fella, when he's a good guy, then most of the world's not prepared for nice people. Then they rip him for being a schmoozer.
Yeah, I liked Howard's press conference yesterday where, somebody asked him if he hated Ohio State, and he looked at him and he goes, "Well, I guess I should now." I mean, now that he's at Michigan. In other words, like, I'm not a hateful guy, but I mean, I guess if I'm supposed to hate Ohio State, I guess I hate Ohio State. Also like the fact that he pointed out, I don't know if this was an indirect shot or not at Hugh Freeze, the former Auburn head coach, but he basically told him, he said, "Look, I love to play golf. I love to ski. I love to do this. I love to do that." In other words, I do eat and breathe football, but I do have a life outside of that. That's why the guy is 66 years old, and he looks like he's 50 years old. I mean, the guy's in great shape. And I'm never going to be a fan of a Big Ten team. That's just because I'm a good old Southern boy. But I can tell you right now, he is a good individual. I've known people that's worked for him, like you said, Brett. I've been around him a lot. He's a first-class individual. And you know what? If it's not an SEC team, I might pull for Michigan just because I know that Kyle Whittingham is a good human being.
All right, let's talk about another one of those Big Ten teams. That's the Indiana Hoosiers that face Alabama in the Rose Bowl. First Rose Bowl for Indiana since after the 67 season, New Year's Day against 68. They're not going to run into O.J. Simpson this time, but that's who they did last time. I asked Bryant this question. Biggest game ever for Indiana. There's no questioning that, right?
Mm-hmm. I agree with that 100%. Biggest game in their school history. Yep.
Where's this game ranked for Alabama? Top 100?
Oh, my goodness. Brett, man, if you sat down and put pen to paper, I don't even know if it ranks in the top 100. I mean, and it's not a shot at Indiana. It's just the fact that when you play 100 years of football and Alabama's got 18 national championships and, oh my gosh, I've lost count, 30-something SEC championships. I mean, it kind of gets lost in the shuffle and all the games of the century that Alabama's played, even in conference play, that didn't get you a ring or didn't get you a national championship. Yeah, man, that's a great question. I might have to ask my audience that question tomorrow. I might have to steal that from you, Brett. That's a really good one.
Please do.
One thing's for sure, and I think we can all agree, this is an outstanding Indiana football team. I had A.J. McCarron, the former Alabama quarterback, on my show today. He came in studio, and, the guy won 2 national championships at Alabama, kind of knows Alabama football. And, of course, guess who was a coach on that staff when he won those 2 national championships? It was Curt Cignetti. Yeah. And he went on and on about just what an incredible individual Curt Cignetti was, what a great coach he was. And you can tell by the last 2 years at Indiana the way those teams have been constructed and the way that he has composed himself on the sideline and how the players do in off the field, where they basically are a mirror of their head coach. And you're not going to find anybody saying anything bad about this Indiana team. They're well disciplined. They're really good on both sides of the ball. This is going to be not. I asked another guy that's a regular on our show, one of the Alabama beat writers. I asked him today. I said, "Give me a comp. Give me an SEC comp for Indiana." And he said, "Well, you know what? I mean, they do everything so well. I guess the only one that I could throw up would possibly be Georgia, but he says, but Georgia commits more penalties. They have more self-inflicted wounds than Indiana does. So Alabama is going to have to absolutely play its best game of the year out in Pasadena. But everybody's healthy. I mean, this is as healthy as this Alabama team has been probably since mid-season. So if you're looking for something for Alabama fans to hang a star on, it's the fact that this team is healthier. LT Overton is going to be back for this game. He's been out the last 3 games. He's a big defensive interior lineman that was all pre-conference before the season started. So Alabama is starting to feel a little bit better about their opportunities. But, Brett, it goes without saying that Bama is going to have to play, and Ty Simpson's going to have to play lights out for them to have a chance in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm. Now, if Bama wins, it makes the next round, then that would pass a lot of the biggest moments. I dare say this game, Pat, in the Rose Bowl against Indiana, it would not be in the top 50 of the 21st century for Alabama.
You're right. And the reason why is because you just think about from 2008, even before Alabama went on that run in 2009 with the national championship, the year before they had the incredible run that ended in the SEC championship game against Tim Tebow, when Tebow manufactured that comeback in the fourth quarter against Alabama in the SEC championship game. But you're right. I mean, Alabama's recent success, it's been pretty daunting. And so when you sit there and you look about Indiana, and that's
10 against LSU, 10 Iron Bowls, 10 SEC championship games, 10 other bowl games that crowned a national champion, and that's without even 5 or 8 or 10 third Saturday in Octobers have been bigger.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, and the thing of the mindset of the Alabama football fan down here, because obviously, the younger you are, the thing that you always remember is Nick Saban. They don't remember life before Nick Saban because, as we all remember, it was checkered with some bad football teams, and they weren't as dominant as they were once Nick Saban came to Tuscaloosa. So they also have to get out of the mindset that Indiana is the worst college football program in the history of college football. I mean, he literally could fall off the face of the earth over the next 5 years at Indiana, but the last 2 years that he has done at Indiana has put what has happened the previous 100 to shame in regards to how good this football team has been the last 2 years. So Bama fans need to get out of the mindset of this is not your father's Indiana. This is a new Indiana. This is the new wave of college football.
Bill Mowry is still the winningest coach in Indiana football history and will be for Kurt Zignetti. Won't catch him even at this torrid pace, and he has a losing record. I threw this out earlier as well. You can throw this out to your great people first thing tomorrow morning. For Ole Miss, biggest football game in Ole Miss history. This isn't close to the biggest game in the Kirby Smart years at Georgia.
You're right. You're absolutely right. No, that's another great comparison. I mean, you think back to, oh my gosh, you got to go back to what, Brett, 60s with Johnny Vaught being the biggest game in Ole Miss football history. Yeah. So, I mean, it goes without saying, and you're right about Kirby. I mean, Georgia fans, they anticipate and they expect every single year to be in this exact situation. But one thing's for sure, they need to be ready for Ole Miss because we saw what they gave them 3 quarters in Athens, Georgia. Of course, the fourth quarter got a little sideways there. But one thing's for sure, I think Ole Miss is going to come out, not because I'm talking and you're on the broadcast, Brett, but just the fact that I like this Ole Miss football team. I like the way they came out and handled their business against Tulane. And we saw last year, we have got to see if the proof's going to be in the pudding on these CFP teams that had that long layoff. I think it benefited Ole Miss for them to be able to play Tulane, just like I think it benefited Alabama to play Oklahoma. We'll see if Indiana and let's see if the Georgia Bulldogs had that hangover effect with that long layover before playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Coach Pete Golding doesn't need me to give a pep talk, but everybody, fans, cheerleaders, everybody in the stadium, opposing team, home team, at the start of the fourth quarter, what does everybody do? Everybody holds up 4, right?
Up. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, Ole Miss don't hold up 4 unless you're going to play the fourth quarter this time.
That's a good point. That is a good point, because I thought that game was in the bag in Athens until the fourth quarter took place. But one thing's for sure, this Georgia team, ever since they lost to Alabama, they have gotten better week in and week out. And this football team, as I said a month ago, when someone on another station out of state asked me, who's best prepared in the SEC to hoist the national championship trophy, I said it was Georgia. Mm-hmm. Just because I could see them incrementally each and every week. They corrected the items that they had in the Alabama game, and they were never, ever out of a game. And so I think this is going to be a great matchup between Ole Miss and Georgia. I would not be surprised at whoever wins the Ole Miss-Georgia game to play for a national championship.
It's going to be fun. A lot of fun games later this week in these quarterfinal matchups. But, Pat, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Happy New Year.
Hey, guys, I got to throw out a Sixto Lascano. Can I throw out a Sixto Lascano? Can I throw him out?
Come on.
I can only match it with a Dane Orge.
Ooh, I like that.
Sixto Lascano, part of that great Whitey Herzog trade in which he traded Raleigh Fingers and Company to the Milwaukee Brewers. Yep. A lot of people forget that Raleigh Fingers was a Cardinal for like a cup of coffee.
For about 10 minutes. I don't know if we ever got a jersey, though, did we?
No, did not get a jersey. Kind of like the same. Well, Fernando Valenzuela and John Smoltz, they actually put the jersey on and actually participated. But, yeah, that's crazy to think Raleigh Fingers was a card. Yeah. Raleigh Fingers and Bruce Sutter was on the same roster at the same time. How about that?
Yeah, they sure were. That's a fact. Good stuff.
That is good stuff.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because we almost went through the entire segment breaking our streak of bringing up obscure Cardinals. So I'm glad that you
kind of the Immaculate Grid Cardinal segment with Pat.
Yes,
Pat, I love
absolutely.
this. We're going to do this. You're going to name innocuous old schooler, and then I'm gonna try to match you.
I love it.
That sounds good. Hey guys, Happy New Year. Okay, stay
Happy
safe
New
down
Year,
there.
Pat. Can't wait to talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thanks, Pat. Pat Smith joining us every week to talk college football from Jocks down in Birmingham, and it should be a lot of fun later this week with these quarterfinal matchups. Again, it all gets started on New Year's Eve, Miami and Ohio State. Then we'll get the triple header on New Year's Day. So it should be a lot of fun. How about his prediction, whoever wins this Ole Miss-Georgia game, a good chance they're playing for a national championship. So that one will be a ton of fun. But we need to get to another break. And when we return, it was a fun weekend in the NFL. Week 17 almost behind us. We'll talk about everything that took place yesterday around the NFL. We do that next on Sports Time.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Hey everybody out there, Walker Taylor with Germantown and Collierville Commissary. Football season is upon us. Nothing better for your next tailgate party than a barbecue buffet spread provided by the Germantown or Collierville Commissary. Catering, self-serve or full, is a specialty of ours. No party too small, no party too large. You can check out our pricing and the items we feature at commissarybbq.com. Holidays will be upon us soon. At our Collierville location, we have a party room for 30 up to 100, perfect for family, business, or church functions. We also have a patio at the Collierville location, perfect in the fall for enjoying football and eating barbecue. Monday through Friday at the Collierville location, we also offer an all-you-can-eat buffet featuring barbecue pulled pork, ribs, fried chicken, and catfish. Each location also offers a $10.95 lunch special, a sandwich, a side, and a drink. Please come visit us at the original in Germantown by the railroad tracks or our new location in Collierville at Houston Levy and Poplar. And as always, go Tigers go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the Burr months, and that means even more savings at Family Leisure. Why is this time of the year the best time of the year to shop at Family Leisure? Because Family Leisure has new stuff coming, so they need to make room. Need a cover for your hot tub? How convenient. Family Leisure has them starting at just $249. Need new spa steps or a cover lift? Family Leisure has those as well, starting at just $99. Let's say you don't have a hot tub or you want a new one. Pick yours right now, starting at $24.99. Get your laps in with a swim spa, and prices start at under $15,000. In-stock patio furniture, that's up to 50% off. Plus, if you need special financing, Family Leisure's got you covered. One final thing, Tell the folks at Family Leisure you heard this radio commercial. You get a free gift with a hot tub purchase. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text BILL to 231231 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text BILL to 231231. That's BILL to 231231.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, the NFL was a lot of fun to watch over the weekend. A lot of interesting results, a lot of really fun games, and it sets up for some intriguing matchups in Week 18. Maybe the biggest, and it's going to be Sunday Night Football next Sunday, and we'll talk about it a lot tomorrow with Bo Marchant. But Ravens and Steelers, a win-or-go-home game. Really, playoff starting this Sunday for both of those teams, as it set up this weekend for, as long as the Steelers won against a Cleveland team that has struggled this season, it would have been over. Week 18 wouldn't have meant anything in terms of getting in the playoffs. But now, because of that loss, because of the Ravens win over the Packers on Saturday, it sets up for a big one on Sunday. That's one of a couple of big games in Week 18. Week 17 was a lot of fun.
Historic game between Baltimore and Pittsburgh coming up. Mm-hmm. Think about it. If Pittsburgh loses, that's it for Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yeah.
Could be it for Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. Could be it for Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh, even with a playoff appearance and losing that home game, the 4 playing, the 5. Mm-hmm. For Baltimore, we know Lamar's not going to play, right?
That's right.
Could be last game for John Harbaugh if the Ravens lose. I don't think if the Ravens win and they go to the playoffs, he's in any jeopardy if they lost in the playoffs like Mike Tomlin could be.
Yeah. No,
historic game.
No, it is. And, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's Sunday Night Football for a reason because of all of those points that you just mentioned. And so, yeah, I really don't know, who's going to win this game. I mean, this feels like the type of game that the Steelers always win, but obviously a lot of things different. And you saw in that game yesterday with the Steelers, without DK out there, he has really turned into wide receiver number 1. Was brought in to be wide receiver number 1, but he's filled that spot really well. And without him on the field, they just really lacked a lot of offensive production. If that happens again against Baltimore, it's going to be really interesting next week.
And a historic lack of judgment on his part with the fan able to provoke him.
Sure, yeah.
Never mind monetarily. $45 million. Yeah. That's real money to everybody but Elon.
That's right. Yeah, it's real money. Missing these games. And
now the playoff predicament is put Pittsburgh in.
Yeah, no, it was a very costly decision. That whole whole thing.
You can't respond to that.
No, I mean, based on the information we know, you can't do that. I mean, if the situation was different, still probably can't do it. I'd be more on DK's side. But, I mean, it's certainly cost him. And now missing that game last week, missing the game this week, I mean, it's going to put him in
and the fans enjoying it. Had his media availability, he's already overstayed his 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, he has. I mean, it's, based on everything we've heard about this guy, kind of, this is his thing, is going and trying to provoke DK. Like,
let me guess, he's got a TikTok account.
Probably. If he has, I haven't seen it. But, I mean, weird thing to do in general, I think. If you're just a fan and you're heckling, whatever. But, like, it seems like this is his thing as he goes to games just to provoke DK. Like, there's been a history there. I just think it's a weird thing to do. But you can't respond.
Brian, in the 70s and 80s, and I can't remember his name, there was an NBA super fan in Washington that was known as the heckler's heckler.
Yeah.
And he spared nobody. He would get even on the home team, never crossed the line, but it was almost popularized, glamorized. I don't know that could exist now.
Probably not. I mean, I think you still go to games and you hear a heckler, and I think everyone gets a kick out of it. But kind of that being your thing. I don't know. I think it kind of depends on the where you're at, the situation. I think it could work at some places and not work at other places. But I think it's a lot different today than it was back then. So.
All right. Another end of the year high hard one. Landon, want you to join in on this one as well. You ready?
Okay.
Every year around this time, the Super Bowl goes through what team? Right now. Through 17 weeks, the Super Bowl goes through.
I have no idea.
It was the Chiefs.
I really don't know.
That's over. There's an easy answer.
The 49ers?
49ers, because it goes through Santa Clara.
Yeah.
That's where Super Bowl 60 will be played.
That's true. And hey, they.
And if you don't beat them, they win out. They play at home all the way through Super Bowl 60. And could be the third team ever to host and win the Super Bowl. The Buccaneers did it after 55, and the Rams did it after 56.
Yeah, they're rolling right now. And
last night, 55 and 56.
Yeah, last night a really fun game. If you're a Bears fan, I think it was a fun game to watch until the very end when it resulted in a loss. But a fun game, and they're rolling now. A lot of wins stacking up for them. They'll play the Seahawks to wrap up the season. They're going to be a really dangerous team in the playoffs, and I think it certainly runs through them. Outside of that, though, I mean, it's up for grabs. I mean, there are a lot of teams out here that it's going to be very different in the playoffs, so should be a lot of fun when we get those kicked off here in a couple of weeks. But we need to wrap up this first hour, get to a break, and when we return, college football and college basketball talk. We do it every single Monday afternoon. David Cobb from CBS Sports, he joins us next.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At 5 we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. 5 Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Your Memphis Tigers men's basketball team is back home and ready to tip off conference play. Join us Wednesday, December 31st at 3 at FedEx Forum as the Tigers take on North Texas in our New Year's celebration game. Bring the whole family and ring in the new year with an afternoon of Tiger basketball. The first 1,000 fans through the doors receive a rope trading card, and after the game, pick up a Memphis basketball commemorative cup, perfect for Beale Street. Get your tickets now by visiting GoTigersGo.com/tickets.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. A little bit more volume in the last few minutes. Certain sections of Sam Cooper going outbound. They're up by Perkins, trying to get south of Memphis. We've watched that increase quite a bit, actually, in the last 15, 20 minutes. We've had to deal with a little bit of radar down through DeSoto County earlier. Again, south of Memphis, watch your speed down 55. Download the Zips Car Wash app right now and get a free car wash.